copying data from a MyStatLab problem into Excel. So typically you will be given problem text and then you will be given some type of data, whether it's presented in a table or a list of numbers or some form. But the idea is you don't want to have to retype this into Excel. So you can copy this into Excel. So click this icon here. And you can make a comma delimited copy. Click OK. Now it was a good idea to already have your Excel open. So then we paste. Okay. Now the formatting is a little bit funny. You can drag this out. Still, I don't really care for all the spaces for this purpose, so I just want to show you that in case you don't like how it's formatted, you can change it. You can, select it, and then from this, it looks like an eraser, clear formats. You can also erase everything, that's clear all, but see you have some, options here, clear contents, clear formats. So we're just going to clear formats. Okay, so that just made that row narrower, which we're more accustomed to when working in Excel. Okay, so the problem also asked us to calculate some percentages. So we were given frequencies for each of the categories, and frequencies are counts. So frequencies and counts aren't that meaningful in terms of interpretation. It's much more valuable to have percentages. So in order to calculate a percentage, it would be we would divide this frequency for category A by a total. We need a total. An easy way to get a total is to use the AutoSum function in Excel. So we would highlight our numbers and leave an extra blank cell because that's where our total will go. And we can use this AutoSum function here. This is the summation symbol, and that just means add up all of the numbers. So click, and all of the numbers are added up for us. And we can create a nice label, total. We can add a line here. And then we wanted to calculate percentages. Again, we can drag this to make it fit. Okay, so we have this 7 would be divided by 50 to calculate, and we would need to multiply it by 100 to get the percentage. So by dividing the 7 by the 50, we would get a relative frequency, and that meaning decimal form, and then to convert it to percentage, we would multiply by 100. Okay, so all we're doing is saying B2, which is 7. Oh, let me make the parentheses since we are multiplying by 100 also, so B2. So 7 divided by 50, the total, but we want to use an absolute reference because I'd like to copy the formula to the other cells without having to retype it. So I don't want the reference to the total to change. I want the frequencies in reference to categories A, B, and C to change. I need to divide 7 by 50. I need to divide 28 by 50. I need to divide 15 by 50. So all of those need to change, but the commonality is they all need to be divided by 50. So I need that cell reference to stay the same throughout the calculation process. So to make it absolute, I put the $sign and B and then $5. Okay, and then so that gives us so far the relative frequency, which would be a decimal, and then we multiply 100 by 100 to convert to percentage. So we have 14% for category A. So something very simple that we can do is just copy the formula. Okay, and notice what happened here. So it did B3, so 28 divided by 50 times 100. So basically 28 divided by 50 is 0.56, and multiply that by 100 and you get 56%. And then the formula automatically copied cell B4 divided by 50, multiplied by 100, and you have 30%. And to double check yourself, let's sum the percentages. They should always total 100. We can add a nice line here. they should total 100. And say you wanted all of this centered, you can highlight all of this and click center, and all values and everything are in the center. You can also, if you want it more table-like, you can add some more grid lines here, borders, like that. So you have a lot of options in Excel, but those are the percentages that were asked for in the problem. It would actually be these cells here. Now, always note how the problem wants the answer expressed. It may have wanted it in decimal form. Then you would not have multiplied by 100. You would have just done the division if they wanted a relative frequency. If they wanted a percentage, then you multiply by 100.